The madness is starting early. Tonight at Mackey Arena, the Boilers have a chance to be spoilers. Purdue hoping to jump on Michigan's championship dreams. This is a true must-win for Michigan. It is the final Super Wednesday presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. So important for the 7th-ranked Michigan Wolverines. They still have a chance at the regular season title as they take on the Purdue Boilermakers. This is why things are so nip and tuck. Indiana losing last night to Ohio State. So the Buckeyes, Michigan State, Wisconsin, and Michigan still with a chance at tying for the top spot in the regular season title chase. Hello, everyone. Welcome to West Lafayette. I'm Eric Collins alongside my partner, Sean Morris. And wow, the loss last night by Indiana. They had a chance to close things out. Indiana can't do it. Now everything's up for grabs, it seems.
Eric, Michigan's still alive with a chance to grab a share of the Big Ten Conference title, but they must take care of business on the road, at West Lafayette against a Purdue squad that comes in with a great deal of confidence, an impressive road win at Wisconsin.
Take a look at the starting five for both sides. Burke, Hardaway in the backcourt. Nick Stauskas, who's playing with a black eye. Glenn Robinson, the third, the freshman. Jordan Morgan rounds out the five. And for Purdue, Matt Painter is going to bring A.J. Hammonds back into his starting lineup. Take a look at tonight's keys with Northwestern Mutual, planning for success.
Michigan, very important to keep Tyrone and Ronnie Johnson out of the lane. When Glenn Robinson III plays well, Michigan becomes an elite squad. For the Boilermakers, force Trey Burke to the sideline off those ball screens, and then it's very important for the Boilermakers to get back in transition defense, eliminate plays in the open floor, and force Michigan as much as possible into half-court sets.
Second meeting of the season between these two clubs. Michigan, a comfortable win up in Ann Arbor a month ago. Trying to get it inside. Hammonds, a nice catch. He was pestered by Robinson, and the pass goes out of bounds. It'll be Michigan basketball.
In that first meeting, Eric, Purdue really represented themselves well, had a lead at halftime. DJ Bird able to get going from behind the arc, but then they moved Tim Hardaway Jr. on him in the second stanza, really clamped down on him. Let's see who guards Bird throughout the course of the evening.
Here's Burke. He was the hero Sunday's game against Michigan State. We've got our first foul. A.J. Hammonds whacking Jordan Morgan.
Really nice read by Trey Burke. We talked about the importance of Purdue forcing Burke more toward the sideline and not allowing him to turn the corner. They did that part of it, but Morgan, good recognition, floated to the rim, and Burke found it.
Morgan hits the first free throw. He'll have another. Michigan ranked 7th in the country. Still with a chance at possibly tying for the regular season title. If they win today's game, they've got Indiana on Sunday in Ann Arbor. Ronnie Johnson fires it over to Hammonds. Tries to hand it off to Bird. It's picked off by Stauskas. And Stauskas is fouled from behind by DJ Bird, who did make an attempt at the ball. So it'll be 2 free throws for Stauskas.
And Eric, I think that the opening sequence is going to get A.J. Hammonds to the bench. Watch, he's just so lax with the basketball right there, allowing Stauskas to come in and knock it away, compounded by the fact Hammonds drew an early foul. Marchuch gave Purdue a lot of quality minutes and was so instrumental in their win at Wisconsin, particularly from an energy and effort standpoint.
Yeah, when you come out of a game just 48 seconds old, that's generally a statement being made. So Hammonds sits down, Marchuch comes in, and another free throw for Stauskas. So Jordan Morgan makes his 2 free throws, and Stauskas, who's terrific at the line, splits his 2. Tyrone Johnson with the touch on the wing. Rayfeld Davis over to Ronnie Johnson. Bird, quick trigger.
And it was Hardaway with a nice contest. Michigan really making a concerted effort, Eric, to pack it in the lane and force Purdue to shoot over the top.
Great job of Burke just to lull the defense to sleep and come in with a nice reverse.
He uses that hesitation dribble so effectively, getting the defender up out of his stance, keeping that dribble alive.
First 5 points of the game belong to Michigan. And another steal. Hardaway has it rim out. Missed opportunity for the Wolverines.
Purdue showing you why they're last in the conference in turnover margin thus far, Eric.
Bird over to Ronnie Johnson. Extra pass, Mark shoots, and he's fouled. Maybe that'll get things started for the Boilermakers.
And it started as a result of dribble penetration, breaking Michigan down. You see the blue jerseys having to rotate. That allowed Marchus to slip to the rim. Pretty tough catch for the big fella, and going into the shooting motion, picking up where he left off last time out versus Wisconsin, where he was so impressive.
Three-point play for the junior from Croatia. Boilermakers coming off a win at Wisconsin on Sunday. Michigan coming off a home win against Michigan State on Sunday. Two confident clubs going at it. Burke keeps the dribble alive.
Nice help by Marchuk there.
Inside rebound. Morgan, extra possession for Michigan. And Hardaway misses everything. So the last two times down the floor, Hardaway's missed a layup and now throws up an air ball. Johnson, another careless pass stolen away. And Hardaway, this time able to finish.
Purdue just shooting themselves in the foot. They're running out of toes, Eric. I mean, you got to take better care of the basketball. They're last in the conference in turnover margin, 4 thus far in the first 3+ minutes of clock time.
Here's Bird.
Good, nice job by Burke. Excellent job.
Another look. This time Bird locked up by Robinson. Loses the handle. That's turnover number 5 for Purdue. Marchuk gets it back. Rayfeld Davis. Offensive rebound, Marchuk.
That is what he gave Purdue in Madison. 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 steals for Marchuk in that last outing.
Still nothing falling unless your name is Sandy Marchuk for the Boilermakers. So we played 3.5 minutes, and the only person who has scored for Purdue didn't begin the game in the starting lineup.
Purdue looking to extend the defense here a little bit and try to disrupt a little bit of the flow that Michigan's been able to get into.
Mitch McGarry now on for the first time for the Wolverines. Anthony Johnson comes on for the Boilermakers. And then Robinson III playing here at Mackey Arena, where his dad was so wonderful for so many years. McGarry gets inside and scores easily.
What a beautiful play by Trey Burke. Gets up in the air, looks like he's going to shoot, freezes the defender, then dumping it down to McGarry, and took just enough off the pass in close quarters so McGarry could catch and complete. But Purdue has not done themselves any favors, Eric, turning the ball over on numerous occasions, and so many times it's not just the number of turnovers, but where they occur. 3 of those turnovers have occurred between their own 3-point ring and the half court, which has allowed breakout opportunities for Michigan. We talked about the importance of transition defense for the Boilermakers. It's hard to get in transition defense when you're not having the opposition have to run all 94 feet.
Michigan playing as if this game is vital, which it is. One of those rare occasions when you can't say it's a must-win situation. If they want to have any part of the Big Ten regular season crown, they need to win this game, and they need to win on Sunday at home against the Hoosiers. After the timeout, Marchuk with another touch, and he finishes.
Really good job, Eric, by DJ Bird of giving himself up. Came off hard off that screen in the curl cut. Michigan really shading toward him. Then the good bounce pass leads Marchuk right to the rim. Excellent play by the senior.
Marchuk has doubled his season average. He's already got 5. McGarry has his pocket picked by Ronnie Johnson. Rayfeld Davis over to Johnson, and now the point guard will set up the offense. Anthony Johnson gets in the paint, bottled up, a little bit short on the jumper. About the only positive so far for Purdue is they've been doing a good job on the offensive glass.
And that's a play you can live with. Johnson able to get in the lane, just not able to convert.
Ronnie Johnson dips it over to Marchuch.
And again, talked about it. Dribble penetration allows the big fella Marchuch to make himself available. When Purdue was struggling, they were between the rings and they were settling for jump shots. No longer. They've been able to turn the corner.
Marchuch is on pace for a Rick Mount type game. He's got 7 points off the bench. And Burke had it knocked out of his hands. It'll stay with the Wolverines. Chance for everyone to catch their breath. Santi Marchuch, he has been a godsend coming off of Matt Painter's bench. He has got all 7 of the Boilermaker points. BTN Basketball is presented by Buffalo Wild Wings, your destination for Big Ten Network games. Also in part by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. And by Sure Start Herbicide, gives you flexibility to spray corn from pre-plant to post-emergence. Mackey Arena, Santi Marchuch off to a real nice start. Remember, he started this game on the bench.
And he's done a nice job of picking up where he left off last time out versus Wisconsin, where he provided an energy boost. You mentioned it. All 7 of Purdue's points have come from Marchuch, but it has started with dribble penetration. Purdue was forced on the outside for about the first 3 or 4 minutes of clock time. When they've been able to turn the corner and get in the lane, that's allowed him to free up.
Easy 2 from McGarry off the feed from Hardaway.
Boy, really nice execution by Michigan on the out-of-bounds play. The little wheel cut and then the dive by McGarry.
There's no one who runs back on defense faster after a made basket than McGarry. Marchuch inside. That's his first miss. Hardaway, no one stopped the ball. And Anthony Johnson was on the baseline when he touched the basketball. It'll stay with Michigan.
If you're Purdue, you can't fall asleep. This identical situation last time down the floor, Michigan was able to score.
Karis LeVert now on the floor for Michigan. He replaces Nick Stauskas.
LeVert, a really nice outing last time versus Michigan State, the freshman, giving the Wolverines 30 minutes of productive play.
He got a lot of playing time when Stauskas got popped in the eye. Here's LeVert, bounce pass over to McGarry. And did it happen again? It did. Anthony Johnson stepped on the baseline, and it stays with Michigan.
Watch the tip. Yep. Again, you're going to see the double screen, and you're going to see 2 players in blue come off.
LeVert. Purdue down by 4. Ronnie Johnson so quick. Offensive rebound, Marchuch. And we've got a travel. Ronnie Johnson before he started his move.
It's a 5th turnover. That one also of the unforced variety. But how about the quickness of that first step? Earlier in that possession, he was just able to blow by Michigan and get to the rim, and he can beat you in that lane with a variety of floaters and teardrops, just not able to knock that one down.
Anthony Johnson goes to the bench, replaced by Rayfeld Davis for Purdue. And we've got an offensive foul, illegal screen set on McGarry, or set by McGarry.
Little dribble handoff. Yeah, he had that inside or left leg extended a little bit. Easy call for the official to make when it's in the wide open floor like that as well.
And another quick foul on McGarry.
And that's a big foul, Eric, because much like Marchuch has done over the last week or so for Purdue, Mitch McGarry, the freshman, has given the Wolverines that energy boost off the bench throughout the year. So for him to be saddled with 2 quick fouls, that's a big deal.
So McGarry goes to the bench. He's replaced by Max Bielfeldt. Bielfeldt, number 44, onto the floor for the first time. Travis Carroll also into the game for Purdue. Runner inside, missed by Tyrone Johnson. Opportunity, 4-on-2 for Michigan. Score the goal and the foul.
Really,
Hardaway, a chance for the three-point play.
Eric, that was just a really nice job by Hardaway. With the number situation, he attacks the backpedaling Purdue defender. We're going to see it. The kick ahead. Now watch what he does. He attacks that inside shoulder of Bird, who was not able to get all the way back and get his feet set. That's a nice play in the open floor by Tim Hardaway Jr.
That's the second personal foul on DJ Bird. He's going to stay on the floor. 12 minutes, 42 seconds remaining first half. Another fast break opportunity for Michigan. Into the corner, LeVert, Hardaway. Three-point basket is good. Tim Hardaway Jr. coming alive in a big-time way. 8 points for Hardaway.
And Michigan, this is their first 3. And again, it starts with dribble penetration. Nice job by LeVert. If you are Carroll there, you have to close out harder than that on Tim Hardaway Jr. Watch the hesitation by Carroll. That allows Hardaway to get his feet situated, rise up, and knock it down. And Michigan averages about 8 made threes per ball game, coming off a performance last time where they were able to win despite going 0-12 from deep.
Well, coming up later tonight, it's a special episode of The Journey Big Ten Basketball 2013. We go behind the scenes around the conference. That's tonight at 11:30 Eastern Time. An all-new episode Sunday comes your way, 8 o'clock, presented by Chase Freedom. Well, it's been a tough journey as of late for Michigan. When they go on the road, they haven't been successful in a while. They've lost 4 straight road games. And the road here to West Lafayette was not an easy one. They're expecting to charter a flight and come right into Lafayette. Couldn't do it. Actually had to land in Indianapolis and then bus up here. That's because of the snowstorm in the area yesterday.
And another poor passing decision leads to the 6th turnover here in the first half for Purdue.
Spike Albrecht on the floor for the first time, the freshman from Crown Point, Indiana. Robinson gets inside, hangs, and scores.
He is a difference maker, Eric. In the open floor, he can catch and complete. There he shows his versatility, able to turn the corner with the dribble, take the contact, and finish with the reload on the way down.
Trying to squeeze it inside to A.J. Hammonds, who's re-entered the game. And we're going to have a foul called on Karis LeVert. Timeout here at West Lafayette. Michigan off to a strong start against the Boilermakers. Here's tonight's All-State Mayhem Index. A man who had a whole bunch of mayhem during his time here in West Lafayette, Glenn Big Dog Robinson.
Averaging a double-double and could score on the perimeter, had great strength, excellent footwork, put together one of the greatest runs of scoring and productivity that this conference has seen in the last half-century.
And he's here tonight. Glenn Robinson sitting next to another piece of Purdue royalty, Brian Cardinal, sitting to his right. And there is the son of Big Dog, Glenn Robinson III.
Brian Cardinal took a charge from the usher. He's still in playing mode.
You know what? He was in the NBA as recently as a year ago. Now under the employ of his alma mater. See him frequently here at Mackey Arena. And another turnover for Purdue. Sean, how about this? We have gone to the 11:29 mark of this first half. The only Boilermaker to score is Sandy Marchu.
And he didn't start.
And he's not on the floor right now. Donnie Hale checks in for Purdue as Matt Painter just looking for some form of answer.
7 turnovers thus far for Purdue. 7 points off those turnovers prior to this possession for the Wolverines. And Michigan, a 12-6 points in the paint advantage. Bear in mind that the Wolverines had 44 points in the paint last time out versus Michigan State.
Dump down inside. Bielfeldt takes his time. Has it rattle out. Long rebound corralled by Tyrone Johnson. It's a 5-on-3. Wolverines eventually get back in time.
Nice communication in transition defense by Michigan there. Creating assignments on the fly.
The same Purdue team that scored 69 points in Wisconsin against the Badgers over the weekend. Can't get anything to fall at all right now. Levert has it knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Michigan.
I think they're going to decide whether it was knocked away or whether he just lost it on the way out. Watch the dribble penetration. I tell you what, there was a foul.
Mark Schuch coming back on. He's the only offense available for the Boilermakers, it seems. Here's Albrecht. Tries to wrap it around Mark Schuch and get it to Morgan. It's kicked out of bounds.
And a reminder, the shot clock does not reset on the kicking violation unless the shot clock is under 15. It will reset to 15. At 22, we'll stay where we're at.
Robinson. Hadn't taken a ton of threes. Only made 18 so far this season. Here's Mark Schuch. Big man spins in the lane and scores.
I'm going to keep riding that horse. I mean, he has all 9 of your points. The double team was not forthcoming. Morgan chose to play behind him. Good offensive patience by Mark Schuch. He needs to touch it the next time down the floor as well, Eric.
He's the only Boilermaker to score in the first 10 minutes of this game. Stauskas. Wild shot, offensive rebound, Morgan. All sorts of mayhem in there. Stauskas drops the handle on the pass, takes it inside, and is fouled. Not many three-point specialists can do that.
Nice job by Stauskas of not settling for the shot. And Purdue understanding that they want to close out, but you have to close out under control. Davis doesn't do that, and Stauskas makes the Boilermakers pay.
Stauskas just getting a handful of minutes, only 4 minutes played against the Spartans over the weekend, but gutting it out now with that bandage over the left eye and that shiner.
Hey, yo, got me, Mick.
Makes a couple of free throws, and now Bielfeldt will face Morgan.
Eric, if I'm Purdue now, Bielfeldt is guarding Mark Schuch. Make sure you reverse the ball and allow Mark Schuch to touch the basketball. He's playing with a great deal of confidence, and if the double team isn't forthcoming, let's see what he can do down on the block.
Tyrone Johnson tries to hang in the air, and he draws the foul.
Little dribble handoff up top, and Tyrone Johnson able to turn the corner and get to the rim. Johnson is the leading scorer for Purdue on the year, Eric, at about 13 points per game, coming off a nice performance where he had 16 points, 4 assists, and 7 rebounds in that big win at Madison.
Will we see the first Boilermaker points not scored by Mark Schuch? John Horford, Tim Hardaway Jr. checking into the game, replacing Bielfeldt and Albrecht. Now this is a lineup in which the Wolverines are featuring 3 guys whose fathers played for a lot of seasons in the NBA. Hardaway, Horford, and Robinson.
There's the ball screen.
Burke. Robinson can't get the follow to go. Now it's Johnson.
Really good job by Stauskas of jumping the left hand by Ronnie Johnson and not allowing him to get all the way to the rim.
Wild shot by Mark Schuch goes out of bounds.
He never saw the basket before he went into a shooting motion. He never saw it. As a result, he was wide left.
All 4 field goals for Purdue scored by Mark Schuch. Only other points scored for the Boilermakers. Free throws, Tyrone Johnson.
Michigan, excellent job of spacing the floor.
Second time in the last minute that Robinson has missed in close. Offensive rebound, up and in. Tyrone Johnson got his own miss and throws it in.
And Eric, Sandy Marchuch, you can tell right now, he is sucking wind. He's not used to playing this many minutes. He's standing up on the defensive end of the floor. And Michigan, conversely, has been able to rotate 3 defenders on him: Horford, Bielfeldt, and Morgan.
Another rebound, Marchuch. Here come the Boilers. Down by 8. Trying to get some form of offensive continuity. Davis is whacked. He will go to the line. Timeout on the floor. Wolverines giving Purdue a chance. Michigan's missed their last 7 shots. Welcome back to Mackey Arena. A very special evening here. Look at this. Longtime head coach Gene Cady in the house, saying hi to his former players, Brian Cardinal and Glenn Robinson.
Coach Cady now on the staff of former Boilermaker assistant Steve Lavin at St. John's. And you know, for folks that watch Coach Cady that didn't have a chance to get to know him like you and I have had, one of the genuinely nicest people in the world. You know, he had that scowl on the sideline, but that was just his proverbial game face. But one of the great gentlemen in the game of basketball.
And I think that's cool too. You know what? You always got to pay homage to your coach. Glenn Robinson, Brian Cardinal spending so much time in the NBA, but when it's all said and done, you got to say hi to Coach. And you notice that Coach Cady is sitting basically right above where it says his name on the court. So he's looking down and seeing Cady Court with his signature. That's got to be a cool feeling. Rayfeld Davis hits the first free throw. He's got another one. Sean, it's interesting to note Sandy Marchuch still on the floor for Purdue.
He's played a lot of minutes. Eric, he's only averaging 8 minutes per outing. He has surpassed that in the first half. So it'll be interesting to see how his conditioning holds up. He's in great condition, but maybe not necessarily game condition because he hasn't been forced to that test thus far this year.
Kirk squeezes a pass into Morgan. Back out to Hardaway. That snaps a streak of 7 straight shots missed by the Wolverines. That's 11 early points for Hardaway.
And you want to find Hardaway. He can knock it down to the tune of 39% from deep on the year.
Boilermakers down 10. Open look, Tyrone Johnson. That's a big shot for the Boilermakers.
And a good job by Purdue of reversing the basketball from side to side and forcing Michigan to defend all the real estate. That allowed, in a rare breakdown of communication defensively, Johnson to set up shot.
Stauskas with a big step through. Misses the layup. Another offensive rebound for Michigan. 6 offensive rebounds here in the first half for the Wolverines. Hardaway pull up from the elbow. Tyrone Johnson, full head of steam. Davis.
Nice job in the secondary break. Again, they go with a little bit of misdirection. They kick it back to Johnson, Anthony Johnson, then to Tyrone Johnson, and again, they lose sight of the wing shooter. In this case, it was Davis.
Back-to-back three-pointers have this Boilermaker crowd energized. Burke over to Horford. Lead back up to 6 for the Wolverines. Anthony Johnson over to Rayfeld Davis. Shot clock down to 7. Anthony Johnson settles for a deep three.
Yeah, and Coach Matt Painter was not pleased at all. A lot of standing around there and dribbling. And the long three comes up empty, and then it's compounded by a foul. And Marchuch is going to go to the bench now, and A.J. Hammond's replacing him.
3 changes now for Purdue. Drew Anthrop also going to come in, as well as Ronnie Johnson. So it's Anthrop, Ronnie Johnson, Tyrone Johnson, Rayfeld Davis, and A.J. Hammonds, the 5 on the floor. Burke has not put up huge numbers here in this first half. Burke second in the conference in scoring to only Ohio State's Deshaun Thomas. He's got just 2. And it's blocked inside. Burke gets it back and throws it in. What an offensive arsenal he has.
Eric, now A.J. Hammonds needs to make himself available and give his teammates someone to throw to. And Michigan giving a little bit of zone defense here, giving Purdue a different look.
Davis gets inside. Right one-footer is good.
Nice job by Davis of attacking that seam. And because Hammonds was in there making himself available, you saw the post players defensively hugging Hammonds. That allowed the help to kind of be eliminated for Davis.
Burke. Wild shot. Rebounded Anthrop. Johnson. Free for the junior.
Nice job by Ronnie Johnson of dribbling with his head up, hooked off the defender to the right, kicked it to his brother Tyrone Johnson here on the right wing, and Purdue starting to get something going in transition.
Michigan forced to call a timeout as their lead has been cut to just 3. Here's the Verizon Key connection, happened just a moment ago.
Nice job by Purdue of spreading the floor in transition. Ronnie Johnson dribbling it. That's spread out. Michigan defensively. Then the kick out. Nice job by Tyrone Johnson of getting his feet set while the pass was on its way to him for our Verizon Key connection.
Tyrone Johnson has been much improved since the season has worn on with his outside shooting. 2 weeks ago at Northwestern, he went 4 for 5 from behind the arc. Guy who everyone said, you know, once he finally gets that shot to go, he's going to be a big-time force when that shot's finally starting to go.
Yeah, he doing a nice job, and he recovered in the Wisconsin game. They went to Iowa, did the Purdue Boilermakers, and Tyrone Johnson, the leading scorer, held scoreless in that ballgame. But he answered the bell in Madison, and his brother Ronnie Johnson is quietly establishing himself as a young player to watch in this league. He continues to grow and progress, particularly with his decision-making, averaging 4 assists per game.
Hardaway inside, has it blocked away. Rayfeld Davis finishes! Michigan up by just 1. Burke slides inside and misses the reverse. Johnson. Anthrop the offensive rebound.
We saw Marchuch give an energy lift. Anthrop has done that from the backguard position for Purdue thus far.
Backdoor cut. Anthrop finds Hammonds. Now the offense coming alive for the Boilermakers.
And Purdue really amped up defensively. This might be an opportunity for Michigan to get something going toward the rim or via the back door.
Wild shot, Levert. He was pestered by Anthrop. Ronnie Johnson takes it all the way, and he's fouled.
And Ronnie Johnson turning on the Jets and attacking the backpedaling Michigan players. And the Michigan Wolverines backpedaling at Mackey Arena. Purdue up 1, 2:10 to go in the first half.
Here's tonight's Buffalo Wild Wings slow-mo breakdown.
Excellent job by Ronnie Johnson of drilling at his teammate Anthrop. The delivery, and then Anthrop, good court awareness on the rotation over by Jordan Morgan, giving it off to A.J. Hammonds, as Purdue and our Buffalo Wild Wings slow-mo replay showing you how they've been able to climb back into the ball game as a result of dribble penetration.
Stay tuned at the half for the State Farm halftime report. Dave Bredson, Jim Jackson going to take it away. This is the first of 2 games here on Super Wednesday on BTN. Free throw situation for Ronnie Johnson. I believe this is going to be a 1-and-1. No, it's 2-shot foul. Johnson was fouled on a fast break a moment ago. It was the 7th team foul on Michigan. For some reason I thought that it maybe wasn't in the act of shooting. It was, so it's 2 free throws. First one goes in, he'll have another. Just saw a shot at John Beilein. His team had a 12-point lead earlier in this first half. It has all dwindled away. They now are down by 3. Original starting unit on the floor right now for the Wolverines. Hardaway, Burke, Morgan, Robinson, and Stauskas. Hardaway.
Yeah, that one just came off his hand. It didn't look good from the moment it left his fingertips. It was off. I don't know if he even caught it cleanly, but when he went into his shooting motion, you could tell that was going to be short and left.
Davis gets inside. Tap won't go for Hammonds. Burke has just 4 first-half points. Gets it over to Stauskas. Long 2 goes in.
Boy, Stauskas really showing his versatility and his ability to put the ball on the floor. They ran out him, trying to run him off the 3-point line, and Stauskas dribbling with a purpose, able to create space and knock down that mid-range jump shot.
Under a minute to play, first half. Hammond steps out and misses the long jumper.
Not the shot you want if you're Purdue. You've been able to get good things going toward the rim. If you're Hammond, you want to establish presence down low and allow your teammates to either throw it to you or get it to you off dribble penetration.
Call that a kickball on Hammonds. I thought it just bounced off of his knee. Hammonds is going to go to the bench, replaced by Marchuch. Stay tuned. Analysis, scores, and more. State Farm halftime report coming your way. 47.5 left to play here in this first half. Burke always draws attention. Bounce pass. Morgan misses the layup. Marchuch with the rebound in the crowd.
Morgan took his eye off the rim. He was worried about where Ronnie Johnson was. Put your shoulder to the rim and complete the play. Excellent execution by Michigan. Just came away empty.
And now, with the difference in game clock and shot clock at about 2.5 seconds, Purdue's just going to hold it. And why not? Get a chance to go in that locker room with at worst a 1-point lead.
Spreading the floor here, especially that left side of the floor, to allow Ronnie Johnson to work with his stronger left hand.
Tyrone Johnson, 3-ball. And how about this? 70 feet away from the cup, that's going to be a foul on Ronnie Johnson. It's not the worst thing in the world. That's only team foul number 6 on Purdue.
And it forces a spot throw-in. Still plenty of time for Michigan to get more than just an adequate shot. They can get a good shot, but what they do have to do now is a side throw-in, and given where they're at, it allows Hale to kind of play the angle and shield off the view of the inbounder, Morgan, here.
Anthony Johnson in, replacing Marchuch, so a small lineup on defense for Purdue. Stauskas, that's his range, actually. I wouldn't have been surprised if that went in. But advantage Boilermakers as they head into the locker room. Tyrone Johnson, he hits 3 first-half three-pointers, the most recent one, with 5 seconds to play in the first half, giving Purdue a big-time lead as they head into the locker room. Let's go to Chicago in the Big Ten Network studios.
1, 2, 3,
bonus insurance game leaders. Tim Hardaway Jr. for Michigan, Tyrone Johnson for Purdue.
Hardaway held in check about the last 10 minutes of clock time, and Tyrone Johnson getting it going. Many of those 13 points, Eric, coming off assists from his brother Ronnie, particularly in transition.
A true must-win for Michigan if they want to at least get a piece of the Big Ten regular season crown. They need to not only win this game, but also win on Sunday at home against Indiana. Indiana losing last night at home against Ohio State has opened the door for a lot of different teams in conference. Stauskas, he's grabbed. That'll be the first foul for either side here in the second half.
And Purdue, again, understanding that they have to close out on Stauskas, but you must do it under control because Stauskas is not just a one-trick pony. He could put the ball on the floor. He did so there. Davis had to give the contact.
Stauskas didn't attempt a three-pointer in the first half. Getting inside easily. Glenn Robinson the third. Interesting game for Glenn Robinson the third, playing here on the court, which is father starred back in the early 90s. His dad in the audience right now. Marchuk spins around Morgan. Hits the underside of the backboard. Hardaway. Finger open, about 8 feet out.
That was a tough catch because the pass was a little behind him, Eric, and he was able to catch it in stride and complete, but it started with good solid post defense on the other end by Jordan Morgan.
First 4 points of the second half go to Michigan. We're tied at 34. Ronnie Johnson over to Marchuk, took an extra dribble and still scored.
Again, dribble penetration, which forces the blue jerseys of Michigan to rotate. That allows Marchuk to kind of set up shop over their dribble penetration, paying dividends for Purdue thus far.
Marchuk averages 2.5 points per game. He's got 11. Robinson raises, a little bit short, run down in the corner by Bird. Johnson can get inside on anyone. Misses a wild reverse. And the Wolverines a chance of time. And a bump before the shot. Foul called on Rayfeld Davis. Now this is what it's all about. Indiana with that loss yesterday against Ohio State. That brings the Buckeyes, the Spartans, the Badgers, and the Wolverines back into the picture as possible guys who could tie the Hoosiers.
And how about the job that Ohio State did defensively of going into Assembly Hall and holding Indiana to under 40% shooting.
Ronnie Johnson down on the floor for Purdue. He was going out to contest the shot from Burke. Fell to the ground and never got up.
It looks like he might have come down and rolled that right ankle just a little bit.
Well, it was a week ago, exactly a week ago, Boilermakers game out in Iowa when the exact same thing happened to Ronnie Johnson's brother, Tyrone Johnson.
And that wasn't a real severe roll. It's easy for me to say that wasn't my ankle. But he went out there and kind of landed awkwardly on it, but he's putting weight on there right now. And you mentioned it. You know, Tyrone Johnson rolled his ankle fairly severely in that game versus Iowa, and that was a big reason that the leading scorer for the Boilermakers was held in check and scoreless in that ballgame.
So Drew Anthrop, who played a solid first half for Purdue, he comes into the game. Anthrop played 5 minutes, had an assist and 3 rebounds. He'll be checking. He'll be checked by Spike Albrecht, who comes onto the floor for the first time in the second half. Bird. Going for the rebound, a foul called on Albrecht, trying to check Marchuk.
That was really the first time, Eric, that DJ Bird's been able to get anything remotely resembling a clear look at the rim. He started on the baseline, came off his screen, got a pretty clean look at it, just not able to knock it down. But Marchuk, again, with the hustle play, keeps the possession alive for Purdue.
Marchuk left alone. 13 points for Marchuk off the bench. new career high for the junior. And a careless pass stolen away by Anthrop. And Burke gets it right back, but he drops it. Davis scores, and he's fouled.
Interesting sequence. Looks like they're going to go the other way. Burke just not able to corral it. Kind of tried to dribble a loose ball rather than pick it up, and it's jarred loose, and Davis able to corral it, take the contact, and the chance for the three-point play. Marchuches went up the tunnel.
Marchuch replaced by A.J. Hammonds. We don't have any information on that. Hopefully it's just nature calling.
Yeah. Well, he was answering it because he was moving fast.
Mitch McGarry now on the floor for the first time in the second half from Michigan. McGarry limited to just 4 first-half minutes, picking up 2 quick fouls.
Nice help by A.J. Hammonds there. Really nice job.
Albrecht over to Hardaway. Michigan has lost 4 straight games on the road. Currently down to Purdue by 7. Now Hammonds got a mismatch inside, can't capitalize. Davis, the offensive board. Another one, and he's fouled.
Raphael Davis just outworked Michigan there. No other way to put it. The initial miss by Hammonds, no one puts a body on it. Now watch Davis come in here. He just takes it. Says, I'll have some of that, and sticks with it. He's going up, trying to recover. Michigan still on the floor. Davis, much like Anthrop and Marchuch in the first half, giving Purdue an energy lift here.
Free throw is good. Davis will have another. That's now 13 points for Raphael Davis. So Raphael Davis, Tyrone Johnson, and Sandy Marchuch have 39 of Purdue's 43 points.
And after a 22-point performance versus Wisconsin, DJ Bird scoreless thus far, and Purdue still an obviously outstanding situation.
Hardaway has it blocked away. Davis, can he save it? He does, and he's fouled. Hardaway called for the personal.
And Raphael Davis getting it done on both ends of the floor. We saw his workmanlike effort on the offensive glass the previous possession. Here, contests the jump shot, blocks it, goes for the ball, and out of frustration, Tim Hardaway Jr. gives the foul.
3rd foul on Hardaway. Marchuch has at least come back onto the floor. He's clapping on his mates hanging out on Matt Painter's bench. And a foul at midcourt on Trey Burke. That's number 2 on the sophomore Burke. Hardaway, who has 3 fouls, goes to the bench, replaced by Karis LeVert.
And McGarry guarding Hammonds right now with 2 fouls. Let's see if Purdue tries to isolate Hammonds down there and get McGarry his 3rd.
Bird was trapped, had nowhere to go, just decides to fire it up. Loose on the floor, picked up by Tyrone Johnson. Bird! And Raphael Davis, everything had been going his way, just figured why not, trying to get another rebound. He's going to be called for the foul. It's Davis's 3rd. But Purdue, they've opened up a 9-point lead at Mackey Arena. Welcome back, everyone. Purdue on top of Michigan by 9. 15:44 left in this one. Take a look at America's Navy doing more on defense.
Well, A.J. Hammonds, first in the conference, or second in the conference in block shots, has 2 tonight. And Raphael Davis also chipping in a block. This is a Boilermaker squad, Eric, that blocks 5 shots per ball game. Good for second in the conference in that category. And Hammonds has been saddled with some foul troubles, and Marchuch has given them some big minutes. But Raphael Davis has been the story here in the second half on both ends of the floor for Purdue.
Now, when will Trey Burke take over? I imagine it's going to be sooner rather than later. He's the only player in the conference this year to score at least 15 points in every conference game. But he's a long way away from that. He's only got 4 right now. He's attempted 8 shots, made 2 of them. Hadn't gone to the free throw line.
They're moving him off the ball right now, letting LeVert run the point.
LeVert almost.
That was the right call. His hand was still on top of the ball, Eric. It was an awkward-looking dribble, but a legal one nonetheless.
Stauskas with Hammonds on him. Gets the soft roll. Rim blast driven in.
You see why you follow through and stay with the shot. The fish hook by Stauskas allowed it to have just enough backspin to hit both sides of the rim and then find the bottom of the well.
Stauskas hadn't taken a 3-pointer so far. A couple of talented freshmen doing work. Hammonds misses over McGarry. And LeVert can't run down that pass. It is the most anticipated tournament of them all. BTN will have the opening round as well as quarterfinal action of the 2013 Big Ten Men's Basketball Tournament. It's live from Chicago. Coverage starts next Thursday, March 14th, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. It's presented by Principal Financial Group only on BTN. Going to be a lot of fun.
A lot of anticipation of that event. Sold out in advance of the tournament at the United Center.
Marchuch back on the floor replacing Hammond. Johnson has it go off the back heel.
Really like what DJ Bird did there. He had a decent shot, gave it up to his teammate Tyrone Johnson, who was hanging his head after knocking it down. Bird went up to him and said, hey, keep shooting.
LeVert hands it over to Burke. Stauskas again attacking the rim. A little bit too strong. Johnson leaves his way in and throws in the one-hander.
And I really like what Ronnie Johnson has done. And then in that situation, Tyrone Johnson, Michigan, uncharacteristically, Eric, has done a poor job for long periods of time of stopping the ball in transition. There, Johnson shows you what happens. He's able to get in the lane and hit that floater.
Burke gets inside, avoids the defender. Rebounded by Marchuch, who comes up lame.
Yeah, he rolled it. He hurt his ankle. Yeah, he rolled his ankle. A lot of traffic in there. And you can see Marchuch coming into your screen right there. Leaves his feet. Yep. Oh, and he rolled that ankle pretty severely. A lot of traffic in there, and that's usually how you roll your ankle. You come down on somebody's foot on that uneven surface, and Marchuch has just been playing so well. Now it's going to be up to that young man, A.J. Hammonds, to come in and pick up not just the production, but more importantly for Purdue at this time, Eric, the energy level that is leaving with Marchuch going to the bench.
13 points on 6 of 9 shooting, 5 rebounds. And he's doing it without fouling. Just one personal foul for Marchuch. So Hammonds back on the floor. Lead is 9 for the Boilermakers. Purdue losing earlier this year up in Ann Arbor against the Wolverines. Trying to get it inside to Hammond, stolen away by McGarry. And we're going to have a block on Purdue.
Marchuch, they're going to go back and maybe see if they can retape that ankle. If he has the opportunity to come back, you want to keep him mobile, because if he sits for too long, and that is an ankle, and obviously it was with that replay we were able to show you, it's going to start to swell. And if you sit, that swelling is just going to become even worse. So this is a big sequence for Purdue with Marchuch out and that energy level going with him.
Matt Vogrich on the floor for the first time, and wow, John Beilein calls the right number. A chance for the 4-point play for Vogrich, who's been on the floor for all of 3 seconds.
Well, the Purdue bench paid dividends for Matt Painter and the homestanding Boilermakers, and you mentioned it, Coach John Beilein trying to find something to answer that, and really nice job by Vogrich of staying with the shot. Watch his eyes. eyes up, follow through there, takes the contact. He was watching the rim even as he was going to the seat of his pants.
Bogridge didn't play at all in the first half, comes on here in the second half, and it's an early three. Tyrone Johnson gets inside, scores, and he's fouled.
And Johnson got the basket, but you have to tip your hat to Drew Anthrop. What he did was he cut hard through the lane. That took the defender with him. That was a weak side. Watch Anthrop. He goes through the lane. That takes Stauskas, freezes him just long enough where he's not able to rotate over there. Anthrop, though, gave himself up. That's great team basketball. Johnson gets the credit, and deservedly so, but Anthrop, great basketball.
And the free throws continue to fall for the Boilermakers. They have now made 10 out of 11. Johnson has 18 points. Rayfeld Davis back on the floor, replacing DJ Bird. Burke, Robinson, Bogridge, Morgan, and Stauskas, the five on the floor for the Wolverines. Down by 9. Robinson, rebounded by Anthrop, his 4th rebound of the game.
Good job by Morgan of taking away post position by Hammonds. Really nice job by Morgan.
Johnson again, making it look so easy. 20 points now for Tyrone Johnson. Burke takes his time, gets inside, spins, and draws the foul. Just a moment ago, we saw tonight's Bass Pro Shops in the net.
Nice job. Pretty good job by Hammonds of getting just enough of a seal on Morgan right there. That is why Morgan was about a half a step late, not able to rotate over, and Tyrone Johnson showing you what he can do off the dribble for our Bass Pro Shops in the net.
Now, Sean, I never played in this conference, but that's a pretty hard shot, am I right? 8 feet out along the baseline, no backboard to work with, and throwing it in with one hand with a lot of momentum going in.
You are absolutely right. You're fighting your momentum, and you have a shot blocker in Morgan kind of rotating over there, but Johnson, that's his game. That's a shot that he works on and practices. We've seen both he and Ronnie Johnson do that in the course of practices and shoot-arounds.
Spike Albrecht coming on. Going to give Trey Burke a blow. We're expecting the media timeout coming up under 12 minutes to play. So John Beilein trying to get a couple extra ticks of rest for Burke. And Johnson keeps on keeping on. 22 now for the junior.
We talked about at the top of the telecast the importance of Michigan keeping Ronnie Johnson and Tyrone Johnson out of the lane. They have not been able to do that for long periods of time, and the Boilermakers have made the Wolverines pay.
Stauskas, his first 3 ball. Rebounded by Johnson. He's always looking to run. Anthrop has it blocked by Stauskas. And a foul in the backcourt called on. No! Bogridge stepped on the end line. Everything going the way of the Boilermakers. (52-40) is Purdue's lead here in the second half. Take a look at tonight's MFS Investment Management Inside the Numbers, and we have got 2 of the all-time greats for these 2 programs.
Rick Mount could score. I mean, that's maybe the understatement of this or any other day. And Rudy Tomjanovich, look at those numbers. 21 rebounds. Phenomenal.
January 31st, 1970, these 2 combining, well, the 2 teams for 219 points, but what a day for Mount and Tomjanovich. I wonder about the defense, though. Am I allowed to wonder about that?
Why can't the glass be half full? Why must it always be half empty with you, Eric? Unbelievable.
For Purdue, 48 of their 52 points have been scored by 3 guys. Sandy Marchuch, Tyrone Johnson, and Rayfeld Davis. That's it. 2 for Hammonds, 2 for Ronnie Johnson. That's it. Besides those 3. Hammonds misses the turnaround inside. Burke trying to catch fire. Oh, hits a contested three-pointer with Johnson all over him.
And Eric, even though he's a right-handed player, Burke makes so many plays going to his left. It's amazing. That's a tough shot for a right-handed shooter to kind of fight his momentum, get his feet squared, and knock it down.
And we've got a foul inside. Is that on Hammonds or
It's on
Davis?
Davis.
That's the fourth on Rayfeld Davis then.
Oh, they give it to Hammonds. Well, they pointed to Davis.
So it's 3 now on Hammonds. And look at this. Is this Willis Reed coming into the game? Sandy Marchuch limping back out onto the floor. That may have been the biggest hand he's gotten in 3 years here.
It's amazing he's out there because when he went to the bench, he looked like me walking, trying to get out of bed.
Burke trying to pick up his offense. He's hit 2 in a row.
You asked when Trey Burke was going to get going, and I think he heard you because the last 2 times down the floor, they've run clear out to just let him go to work.
10 points now for Burke. Jerome Johnson working against Burke. He's cut off. Davis somehow spins his way inside and scores.
That's a tough shot by Davis because Hardaway Jr. did a pretty good job of moving his feet. Didn't look like he had much of an angle to use the window, but Davis found a way.
15 now for the freshman Davis. Again, Burke trying to hit a jumper. This one too strong. Oh, Jerome Johnson is pleading with his brother to run the ball down the floor. Open look, Davis. Sean, I want to ask you about Sandy Marchuch. He's obviously not 100%. Is it that desperate for Matt Painter to have him on the floor right now?
Well, if you're going to play him, as we take a look at the production that Purdue has gotten, you alluded to it earlier there, Eric. That's an amazing stat for the homestanding Boilermakers. But if you're going to get production from Marchuch, you have to do it now because the longer he sits, that ankle is going to tighten up. So you may be able to maybe try to squeeze minutes out of him until the 8 or 4 minute timeout, depending on how he's able to go. And right now he's very gingerly jogging down the floor. But if you're going to get anything out of him, now's the time.
That's the first three-pointer made for Stauskas. He's now got 66 made three-pointers on the season. Ronnie Johnson over to Bird. And on the pass, a foul called on Spike Albrecht. And we're in the bonus now. So it'll be a 1-and-1 situation for Ronnie Johnson. This is going to be pivotal right now. Purdue, they're shooting well at the free throw line so far today. They're 10 out of 11. We're in the bonus, and Ronnie Johnson is kind of a 50-50 proposition at the stripe. Shoots 58% on the year.
And this is a Purdue team. You mentioned it tonight. They're getting it done from the charity stripe, but they are 11th in the conference overall this year. 63% conversion rate for the Boilermakers.
Johnson makes the first. He'll have another. Coming up tonight, it's the finale presented by Reese's. Our guys in the studio breaking down a full night of basketball with highlights and analysis. That's tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern time on BTN. Dave Revson and Jim Jackson standing by. Travis Carroll has replaced Sandy Marchuch as the big man on the floor for the Boilermakers.
They're doing a really nice job of keeping Albrecht in front of him there.
Burke's been looking for his offense lately. Gets inside, hangs, and he's fouled. Just waited long enough to get the contact and go to the free throw line.
You hit it right on the head, Eric. He turns the corner, eyes on the rim, and then he extends. Watch where he puts this ball. He puts it out and away from the defender where the shot blocker can't get it, and initiating the contact, chance for 2 foul shots.
Such an important game for John Beilein and the Wolverines. If they win tonight and they win on Sunday at home against Indiana, they will have a share of the regular season crown here in the Big Ten. That all goes down the drain if you lose this one right now. And then you got to start worrying about simply playing on the road. Michigan has lost 4 straight road games. A loss tonight, 5 in a row.
You can't have an ultimate game unless you take care of winning the penultimate game.
Smart guy.
My head hurts now, Eric.
Here's Travis Carroll. Lonnie Johnson, step in. He's still a work in progress on that jump shot. Wolverines down by 5, under 8 minutes to play. Mitch McGarry back on the floor. Hadn't been much of a factor so far today.
We had a couple of quick early fouls, and you mentioned it, his minutes have been few and far between, but a nice delivery.
Robinson is fouled. Great passing of the basketball by the Wolverines.
Great passing and great spacing. That's what made that opportunity possible for Michigan. The Wolverines need more of that, down 5 on the road here at Mackey.
BTN Basketball is presented by Buffalo Wild Wings, your destination for Big Ten Network games. Also in part by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. And by Case IH. Be ready with agronomic design from Case IH. Visit caseih.com/agronomic design. And the band plays on, but maybe a little bit nervously. Michigan has come back on Purdue. Boilermakers' lead is just 5.
My new favorite band, Eric. They played Skinner, man. I was ready to roll.
Yeah, it's not too many songs that have come out in the last 25 years. The band's definitely going retro.
That's fine this evening. That's fine with me.
Robinson, 2 free throws. 5 points for Glenn Robinson III. Sandy Marchuch continues to pace underneath that basket close to the Boilermaker bench. It appeared as if he twisted an ankle earlier here in the second half.
And he's moving to try to keep that blood flowing and keep that ankle loose, because if he sits, it's going to stiffen up on him.
Boilermakers did have a 12-point lead. It's down to 3. Travis Carroll, the offensive rebound.
What you see there, Eric, a big reason why the Wolverines find themselves down 3 with just under 7.5 minutes to go. Glenn Robinson III not able to get on track. Trey Burke has started to recently, and Tim Hardaway Jr. after a pretty high-scoring first half, really held in check here in the second.
So Spike Albrecht is going to come onto the floor for the Wolverines. He replaces Hardaway, who goes to the bench with 4 personal fouls. So it's Albrecht, Burke, Stauskas, Robinson, and McGarry. The 5 on the floor for the 7th-ranked team in the country. Michigan down by 5. Rebound, run down in the corner. Burke had it knocked out of his hands since who last touched it. Oh, it was last touched by Purdue. Michigan basketball.
Scramble in the corner. Yep. I couldn't tell if that back foot.
It did. It went off the back foot of Burke.
Yeah.
But they're going to give it to Michigan. It appears as if the Wolverines caught a break. And they capitalize.
Boy, that's a big, big basket for the Wolverines as Burke's able to get to the rim and complete with the left hand.
So instead of having a 5-point lead in the ball, it's just a 3-point lead for Purdue. Six and a half to play. Shot clock down to 7. Bird over to Carroll. And Carroll, a foul, reaching in, trying to go for the rebound. And that's double bonus time now. Michigan's going to go to the line and shoot 2.
And we saw a couple possessions ago the graphic with the 3 big scores for Michigan and where they've been production-wise. How about the fact that DJ Bird, after that outstanding performance, 6 of 9 from behind the arc and that winning effort in Madison, thus far this evening, no points, 0 of 4 from 3.
2 free throws for Burke. Misses the first. Bird's going to go to the bench, replaced by Anthrop. A.J. Hammond's also coming back on, replacing Travis Carroll. Now just a 2-point lead for Purdue.
Bird out of the ball game. Spread the floor and see if Ronnie Johnson can get something going into the lane.
Anthrop dumped down. Beautiful feed, and Hammonds was fouled on the floor. Wasn't in the act of shooting. But we are in the bonus, so A.J. Hammonds will go to the line and shoot a 1-and-1.
They did exactly what I thought they were trying to do, Eric, which was spread the floor and allow Ronnie Johnson to get in the lane. They do. That leads to the ball reversal. They called it contact before Hammonds goes into the shooting motion, so he's going to have to earn it with a bonus now.
Jordan Morgan back on the floor, replacing the freshman McGarry. Hammond shoots 67% at the free throw line. He's his first 2 free throws of the day.
Tell you what, this young man has a bright future. If he can get himself locked in mentally on every possession, he has the skills to be a very, very special player, Eric.
Oh, and Anthrop steals the offensive rebound. Local kid making good, that's for sure. Now Anthrop has his pocket picked. Albrecht pokes it away, and Burke has it. Burke able to hang long enough to compose himself and make the jumper.
Did you see that play by Burke in the open floor? He dribbled and slowed down, so he got Anthrop on his back, and he knew where he was. It's a small thing, but watch Burke in the open floor. Slow down, take away Anthrop, rise up, and deliver. Michigan down 1.
Just 5:40 remaining in this one. Michigan trailing Purdue by 1. 58-57 is our score. As it stands right now, heading into today, Big Ten men's tournament looks like this. The 4 seeds getting the byes: Indiana, Wisconsin, Ohio State, Michigan State. But that's all in flux, really, Sean.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of things that can happen. And if things were to hold, some very interesting matchups. But remember, Illinois came into Purdue in the conference's opening week, and Purdue really handed it to Illinois and kind of sent them into a little bit of a free fall. And then Illinois returned the favor, pounding the Boilermakers in Champaign.
Both teams in the double bonus the rest of the way. DJ Bird back on the floor. Still has not been able to hit a shot from the field. Trey Burke trying to get Michigan the lead. And he does. He wanted a foul. All of a sudden, Trey Burke is heated up. He's got 19. First time in a long while, Purdue playing from behind. Ronnie Johnson gets it right back.
Really good job by Purdue, Eric, of answering. They spread the floor, especially the left side, to allow Ronnie Johnson room to operate with a strong hand.
Jerome Johnson going to be in charge of stopping Burke here. It appears the offense is get it to Burke and get out of the way. Purdue basketball.
Nice job by Ronnie Johnson there. Got away with it. A little bit of a 2-hand shove into the bigger fella, Morgan. We'll come the other way.
Just looking ahead, alternate possession arrow favors Purdue. Oh, Burke influences that turnover. Numbers for the Wolverines. Albrecht scores in transition. First two for Spike Albrecht. Sean, where's Tyrone Johnson been last couple of minutes? A.J. Hammonds, a man-sized rebound, and he's fouled.
And that's what they need from Hammonds, particularly with the energy and the production of Marchucha on the bench. Hammonds has to answer the bell and give them an inside presence. He'll have a chance when we come back to cut into this lead. But you mentioned it, Tyrone Johnson, Trey Burke getting it done on both ends. Michigan up one.
Dave, thank you so much. Yeah, we've got a good one here. 1 point lead for Michigan, desperate for a win. Here's tonight's Reese's Perfect Combination.
Tyrone Johnson, 22 points, and Rafael Davis giving energy as well as production. 15 points, has been saddled with foul trouble, 9 rebounds. Those two Purdue Boilermakers are Reese's Perfect Combination.
It's been such an interesting game, Sean. It has been a 12-point lead at 1 point for Purdue. It was a 12-point lead at 1 point for Michigan. Lead has changed hands 4 times. We've had 1 tie. A.J. Hammonds has a chance to tie it and possibly give the Boilermakers a lead here at the free throw line. He'll shoot a pair.
And Hardaway back in the ball game for the stretch run here for the Wolverines. Let's keep an eye on that. Hardaway with 4 fouls. Let's see if Purdue recognizes that and maybe tries to isolate him.
Boilers regain the lead. Purdue looking for 2 impressive wins in a row. One on the road against the Wisconsin Badgers on Sunday. Now trying to do it here at home against Michigan. Hardaway off the bench. Comes up firing. Big time 3 for the junior. 16 points now for Hardaway. Tough shot. Are you kidding? Tyrone Johnson.
Didn't look like he really controlled the dribble all that well, but able to regroup and knock it down.
Second time we've been tied. Closing in on the 3-minute mark. Stauskas was bumped. No shot. It'll be 2 free throws for Nick Stauskas. Who was hoping against hope that he was going to get that NBA continuation.
Watch the crossover. Boy, that's a nasty crossover. And even in, say, circa 1975 NBA, I don't even know if they would have given him the continuation there.
And Stauskas should know he is a big-time basketball savant, knows everything about everyone. He's got a big-time video collection of dunk contests. Can't sneak anything past him. McGarry back on the floor replacing Morgan. Stauskas hits the 2 free throws. Wolverines up a pair. Michigan needs to win and needs to win on Sunday versus Indiana. The tie for the Big Ten regular season crown.
We've talked about the offensive prowess of Stauskas. How about the job he's done on DJ Bird tonight? He has been the primary defender on Bird for long periods of time and has held the senior scoreless.
Michigan the lead in the ball. Stauskas. Are you kidding? Nick Stauskas coming alive. Stauskas coming off a game in which he did not score, got whacked in the eye, only played 4 minutes against Michigan State. But everything has changed around tonight. He's got 15.
Burke dribbles into the lane that draws the white jerseys. Stauskas gets his feet set, and he doesn't need much room to get it off. And if you're Tyrone Johnson, you're out there in pretty good position, but you have to come out hands high on him. You can't come out with your hands below the waist, or he'll use your head as a gun sight, and he did that.
Take a look at the race to the wire. This is the final 5 days of the regular season. The contenders, this is what they have remaining.
Well, potentially, you're taking a look at Sunday if Michigan's able to come in here and pull this one out, setting up a championship type of game versus the Indiana Hoosiers. Ohio State playing with a lot of momentum. Big matchup tomorrow night with Wisconsin and Michigan State. And the Badgers, a tough final 2 games, going on the road to East Lansing and then going to Penn State. Ask Michigan how easy that trip is. So a lot of interesting basketball still here to play.
Sean, as a former player in this conference, do you weight them differently, the regular season title as opposed to the tournament championship?
I think that you still continue to give credence to the regular season. And for a variety of reasons, one, you have to do it over a period of time, not to diminish what the conference tournament means, but when you're able to do something over the course of 3 months and 18 games, that says a lot.
Tyrone Johnson gets 2 back for the Boilermakers. Burke never stops attacking. Over to McGarry. Score the goal, and he's fouled. Points have been coming in groups of 3 for the Wolverines.
Again, spreading the floor. Burke able to draw and then deliver. The rotation over. And the reason that was a block, even though he wasn't set, his feet were well within that restricted area, making it an easy and automatic call for the official to make.
It was Rayfeld Davis who tried to step in and take the charge. He's called for the foul. And McGarry will try and make it a 3-point play and give the Wolverines a 6-point lead.
Still plenty of time if you're Purdue.
2 minutes left. Bird. His first field goal is a 3.
He ran extremely hard from the left side of the floor. Saw him do that last time out versus Wisconsin, get his feet set, and Stauskas just a step late.
Again gets inside and again draws the foul. So Stauskas will go to the free throw line as we take a look at tonight's Motel 6 6th man of the game.
13 points, very efficient in doing so was Marchuch, and he's over there because he rolled his ankle. He is our Motel 6 6th man of the game, but his absence has been noticeable on the inside, particularly in terms of energy.
Through the first 10 minutes of this game, the only person in a Purdue uniform that scored was Sandy Marchuch. Stauskas makes the second free throw, and a quick timeout is called by Michigan. Lead is 4, 92 seconds remaining. All right, as it stands right now, Sean, talk about the Michigan Wolverines and their NCAA tournament resume.
Well, it's obviously the foregone conclusion they're going to be in. It's just going to be a matter of where they are seated. It's not inconceivable, Eric, that if they were to hold on and win this game and then defeat Indiana, you could be looking at a #1 seed for them in the upcoming NCAA tournament as well. I think Indiana still has to feel very good about themselves. Depending on how things play out for them, they may not be the #1 overall seed come Selection Sunday, but they're going to put themselves in an outstanding position. And this would be a gutsy win for Michigan. They were really on the ropes. They were down 12, as you mentioned it, all the momentum Purdue's way, and then Trey Burke took over. And how about the production then of freshman Nick Stauskas, both getting to the lane and defensively on DJ Bird for long periods of time here this evening.
Stauskas with 17 points. He's one of 3 Wolverines in double figures for Purdue. Now the scoring has basically been Tyrone Johnson, Sandy Marchuch, and Rayfeld Davis until just a moment ago when you saw that shot made by DJ Bird. Tyrone Johnson back out on the floor with his mates, down by 4. The 26 points for Tyrone Johnson is a new career high for the junior. Hammonds stripped away by McGarry, loose on the floor. alternate possession here. Was going to keep it with the Boilermakers. Hammond somehow got it back.
And that'll be a play a year from now that Hammonds will be able to complete. He needs to rip that thing through very, very strongly. He didn't. He kind of went through there about 3/4 speed. It got jarred loose. You have to rip that thing through there if you're going to do that up and under move, which Hammonds was trying to convert.
Johnson gets open inside. How did that happen on the inbounds play?
Well, they fell asleep. They were shading toward DJ Bird, and that allowed the little wheel cut by Purdue and get all the way to the rim.
Now the Boilermakers need a stop. Robinson rips away. Burke is fouled. How does Trey Burke get inside and get the rebound?
Well, Purdue came over and contested the initial offering, but the Boilermakers not able to convert. Watch, pretty good contest right there by Hammond, and they're just not able to draw it loose. They knock it away from Glenn Robinson III, but Burke stays with the play. Chance to add a couple points to this very fragile Michigan lead.
Burke is 4 for 6 at the free throw line. He has had a very productive second half. Just a reminder, coming up next, Minnesota and Nebraska. Nebraska playing better as of late. Minnesota, an NCAA tournament team.
I tell you what, for the Golden Gophers, Eric, they need to maintain their focus. That's a potential trap game for Minnesota going on the road. Ask the Iowa Hawkeyes. Iowa was up 16 at the Devaney Center, ended up losing, and if this season continues to unfold, that could be a loss that really comes back to haunt Iowa. Minnesota doesn't want the same fate.
Tyrone Johnson refuses to let up. He's fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line and shoot 2.
Michigan foul number 3, Trey Burke takes third.
3 fouls now on number 3 for Michigan. And it'll be 2 free throws for Tyrone Johnson, who is a perfect 3 for 3 at the line.
Tyrone Johnson.
I love watching Tyrone Johnson. You can tell exactly how he's feeling at all times. If he makes this free throw, he's got 30. Michigan cannot hold it. They're going to need to give it up at some point. Difference game clock and shot clock is about 8 seconds.
Yeah, they're going to just put the ball in Burke's hand. Watch how the Wolverines are just spreading the floor.
And now John Beilein calls timeout.
Nine-second difference between shot and game clock. Burke is going to get in the lane. There's no question about that. That's what they're going to attempt to do. And it's going to put the Purdue Boilermakers on an island as we take a look at the standings and what this game means as we come down here in the last 20 seconds.
With Indiana losing last night at home against Ohio State, the Buckeyes, Spartans, Badgers, and Wolverines all still with a chance at tying Indiana for the regular season title. But Michigan, they lose all chances if they lose tonight.
And in this last possession for the Wolverines, Eric, I would look for Burke to try to get in the lane as we talked about, and then try to shade it toward the side of the floor where Stauskas is and force the Purdue defenders to make a decision. Do you come all the way over and try to get the ball out of Burke's hands and then the kick out to Stauskas, or do you shade, help? These defenders now, whoever is going to be guarding Stauskas is going to have a decision to make. He's going to have to play sound fundamental basketball because Burke is going to try to make Purdue on an island and make a decision.
Burke is fouled by Ronnie Johnson. It'll be 2 free throws for Trey Burke.
Not what you wanted to do if you're Purdue. Burke not going to be able to beat you from out there. He's good, but he's not that good. You want to square up on him and at least force him to try to make a play. The shot clock under 10 in that situation.
Karis LeVert going to come on for Stauskas. Lead is 4 for Michigan.
If you're the Boilermakers, no need to hoist a 3. Get a quick 2 and just try to extend the ball game.
Tyrone Johnson gets another one to fall. He has been terrific. 32 points for Johnson. A quick timeout. Purdue's final timeout. Michigan up by 2 with 11 seconds left.
Very important here, and you know that Coach Beilein is emphasizing to his trigger man, look, it's a made basket. You can run the baseline. Purdue has to be cognizant of that as well. They face guarded Burke the last time down and forced Stauskas to come up and try to make a play with it. Let's see if the Boilermakers do the same thing here.
You'd imagine Michigan going to get their best free throwers into the game. Meaning Nick Stauskas going to come back on the floor. Stauskas 7 for 8 today. He shoots 84%. Trey Burke also an 80% free thrower as well. Coming up immediately following this one, we'll take you out to Lincoln, Nebraska for the Gophers against the Cornhuskers. That game getting underway as we speak. If you'd like to check it out, btn2go.com is your avenue to do so. But we're going to keep it here. 11.8 remaining. Michigan needing to win this game and also needing to win Sunday against Indiana to have a chance to win the Big Ten title, at least part of it. They need to win this one first, trying to protect a 2-point lead.
You talked about the situational substitutions and the importance of getting foul shooters in. Jordan Morgan, who has struggled from the line, goes to the bench.
Hardaway's going to inbound it. He's got DJ Bird in his face. And they get it to Burke, who bleeds a little bit of time and then is fouled from behind by Bird.
Nice job by both players. The trigger man, Hardaway, of making eye contact with Burke and then recognizing and remembering that he can run the baseline, that he's not anchored off that make by Tyrone Johnson before we went to the break. And then Burke not fading away, coming back to meet the ball.
Burke 8 out of 10 at the free throw line. That is right on his season's average. Jordan Morgan back into the game, replacing Mitch McGarry.
And he's back in for defensive. We're seeing a lot of situational substitutions. We saw LeVert come in. Stauskas go to the bench. Here, it's Morgan and McGarry exchanging positions.
Now it's Michigan's turn to call a timeout. They want to make sure that they are still aligned. What are the principles being taught right there by John Beilein for Michigan, knowing that you got at least a 3-point lead, possibly a 4-point lead?
On a make, I would look for Michigan to give some token pressure and extend, to force Purdue not to get a straight line opportunity to dribble up and down the floor, but force them to go east and west. Not a lot of smothering defense. Matter of fact, that's not what you want. You don't want to give the foul and stop the clock. But if you're Michigan, on a make, extend the defense a little bit and force Purdue to go side to side, because right now, if you're the Wolverines, you want the clock to run.
Well, it didn't look like it in the first half, but Trey Burke ends up being our Quicken Loans amazing performance. 24 points, 5 boards, and 7 more assists.
Leads the conference in assists at about 7 per outing, and I think the thing that makes not only this Quicken Loans amazing performance, but his amazing sophomore season, you put it in perspective, averaging about 7 assists per ball game. How about an almost 4-to-1 assist turnover ratio? Phenomenal.
Leads the country in that category, and at winning time, he has made the winning plays. But this one would be the biggest free throw of the game. Chance to make it a 4-point lead. Oh, and he misses it. Purdue with life. Down by 3. No timeouts. And Johnson can't handle the pass. Michigan is going to survive, it appears.
And you know what? You feel for Tyrone Johnson. 32 points, 7 rebounds tonight. But he was thinking about the shot. We're going to take a look at it off the scramble situation. Johnson takes his eyes off the pass just enough. He's thinking about the shot before he has the ball in his hand, Eric, and that leads to the miscue.
How many times has Tyrone Johnson caught a pass from his brother Ronnie Johnson with the game on the line, and just imagine making a game-tying shot or a game-winning shot? Sure, they did that in their backyard and in parks their entire life. Had an opportunity here, and the ball slipped through the fingertips.
He took his eye off it just enough that it disrupted it. He was thinking about the shot, but I tell you what, that young man put on a gutsy performance, as did this entire Purdue Boilermaker squad. But you have to give Michigan a lot of credit. They found a way to get it done when they weren't necessarily clicking on all cylinders offensively.
John Beeline's Michigan Wolverines, they survived. They still have a chance at the Big Ten regular season title. They've got an all-important game coming up on Sunday at home against the Indiana Hoosiers. 80-75 is the final score. For my partner Sean Morris and our entire BTN crew, I'm Eric Collins saying so long from West Lafayette. Now let's head live to Lincoln, Nebraska and join Kevin Kugler and Tim Doyle.